Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing this fine morning? Or afternoon, or evening? Into Ryan West's opening the doors. That's right. All right. It's a Saturday. Congratulations, you made it through another week of your life. It's time to celebrate. Some of the smartest people in tabletop role-playing games in the chat today. I could tell. I could see them. I can sense it. Good to see everybody. Ryan, thanks for opening the doors. Joe, morning. Let's do roll call. Good to see everybody. Grumpy Corn, good to see you. Laramie, morning. Joe, morning. Hoos, what's up? What's up? Michael, good to see you. Morning. Gabe, morning. Jim, morning. Shambot, morning. Wayne, morning. All right, Keith, Chucktown, representing. Good to see you. Matt, good to see you. All right. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. Good to see you again. Thanks for supporting the show. Appreciate it. Mr. White, good to see you. Nubis, good afternoon. Blake, good evening. Got to know where all these guys are. Put it in the proper context. Orcus Dorcas, morning from California. Aaron, I could see you from my house. Good to see you. Grimwood Games, morning. Good. Let's start off quick. What's everybody playing? Play check. What's everybody playing? Playing, running, whatever. Let's do it. Points for most games. Points for most interesting games. Points for just commenting. What's everybody playing? McGurd, running Shadowrun. Approved. If you don't know that reference, points for the reference. Points if you can guess the reference. Not playing, running at the moment, family stuff going on. That's all right, Blake. It happens. Horse isn't going to go anywhere. Running BX, not currently playing anything, says Jim. Yeah, Jim's running BX for some of the community on BSlandia Discord. And did you kill anybody? Have you killed anybody yet, Jim? Any player characters? Not players. Don't kill players. That's bad. That'll get you some time. Grimwood, Ironbound, Plaguebound. Also recently ran. Outgunned. Nice. For Against the Darkness. Nice. Pathfinder, Agents of Edgewatch, just over halfway through the campaign, says Michael Holland. Play check, we deal in lead or lead if you are so inclined to have to hack the English language. Who's playing Outgunned Adventures and Slow Coriolis. Dude, we gotta talk to Michael. Hopefully we're out of the thick. Hoos is in our Coriolis game. He and I are players. It's been a rough start. Still too gay. Aaron, Twilight 2000, nice. Brian West is playing in Jim's BX game. Very good. Suffered through Traveler. Oh, come on, man. Come on, Keith. You look like a kind of Traveler kind of guy. No? Still dragging on playing Tomb of Annihilation. Joe, is that like a 3-year campaign to this point? Regular CNC game. Reading Shadowrun after picking it up at Gary Con. What edition, Laramie? I need to know what edition of Shadowrun. Some are very particular about my editions. One death so far. Poor Roger. Well, Roger Francais. Where is that guy? Is he here today? I think he's been missing a couple weekends. That's all right. Hope he's doing all right. 7 out of 8 characters made it through the first session. That's what I'd say a good turnout for the players. Not so much for the game master. Gabe against Dark Master. Conan 2D20. Outgunned. Burning Wheel. What? That's right, people. Gabe Dibbing, if you have not listened to the episode of Analytic Dice that he and the Kevmeister co-host, they did part 1 of Burning Wheel, which has been long, I've been waiting for that one. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to listen to it. Though. It's one I've been waiting on. John, good to see you. Caldwell. Solo Iron Sworn Sundered Isles. Play by post COC. Nice. Flint, good morning. Running Lord of the Rings 2E today for third time. So you know that game. Haven't played in a minute. Forever GM. The struggle is real. Orcus Dorcas playing GURPS, God's Teeth, and COC playtest running. Waiting for my group to decide on Dalmanwood or Dragonbane, which Orcus let me know last night when I joined the Mistchester. Is that what Mistchester? Discord channel from the folks over in the UK. Playing OSR with a bunch of Nord-Wells. Feel targeted. And Beyond the Wall with Grognard buddies, prepping Shadowdark. Nice. Mr. White playing COC. WDIL. Come on, man. What is this? WDIL. I haven't seen that one pop up. What is that? Something IL. What the hell game is that? Running DG, Delta Green. See, I know all of them. One pops up. Trip me up, Mr. White. Good to see you. Reading Scum and Villainy. Ooh, Forged in the Dark. Running Twilight. Patrick, good to see you. Running Twilight 2000, powered by GURPS. Player characters are in danger. Big time. Scott had better watch out. Scott's in that game. Does he torment you, Patrick? Does he? Nubis playing Blade Runner, Liminal Horror, playtesting Mothership module, and a monster of the modern action hack. Did two acronyms like trip me up this week? Played Dialect for the first time the other day. Gearing up to run Delta Green finally. Yes, baby. I want updates. I want status updates on that Delta Green game, Nubis. If you could have those files on my desk by 10 a.m. Monday, that would be great. Going to use Shadowrun Anarchy. Nice. Anarchy, but several editions of the rule set. Indeed. All right. We deal in lead. Thanks, Nubis. We deal in lead. I got to add that one to the Rolodex of gaming acronyms. Thanks. All right. Mark of the Odd. Okay. Nubis. Nubis, that's hilarious. Nubis's language, English, is not his first language, and he can translate acronyms better than I can. Fantastic. Thanks, Nubis. All right. Mitchester. Yes, what is said about Harrigan is the Mitchester arm stays in the Mitchester arms. I don't know what you're talking about. Grumpy Corn Games brought my wife to her first gaming con last weekend. It was an absolute blast. Strongly recommend 1D4 Con if you're out in the mid-Atlantic. Is your wife games then, I'm guessing, Grumpy? Or did she just accommodate you? Let me rephrase that. Does she play role-playing games, board games? Sometimes I find spouses of gamers may or may not play role-playing games. And if they do, great. If they don't, great. But some I know go to cons with some of us nerds to play board games and other things. Or just to accommodate us. Accompany us? That's what I meant. And accommodate us. Good stuff. I am playing Outcast Silver Raiders, Coriolis, kind of. I mean, we will. We're gonna play Coriolis Third Horizon, damn it. And then Castles and Crusades. That's it. That's what I got going on. I got to prep. I don't know if I have to do much prep. I got to prep for Gamehole Con. Event submission has opened up at Gamehole Con. If you're interested in coming to my neck of the woods in Wisconsin, gameholecon.com. I know my friends run that. It's a good convention. Probably, I don't know, 5,000, 6,000 people. Good guest list. Lots of a variety of games. And lots of us will be there. So I'm running Shadowdark, Catacombs of the Forgotten King, which is a published scenario that is like in a zine format, which I've run for the West Marches. It's a point. So if you are in my West Marches game and you're coming to Gamehole Con and you're going to sign up for that game, don't. You don't have to, because you may have gone through it in the West Marches game that I've hosted. And then I think I'm going to run, maybe off books, Gaslands. They got a couple of folks that are interested in that. Then I have to get like a set piece together, and some cars, and I might have to get crafty. Not a big miniatures guys, but I always wanted to play Gaslands. So we'll see. Runeslinger. Drive-by. Okay, no, I appreciate drive-bys. As a matter of fact, if you are a drive-by, and if you're driving by like really fast, and all of a sudden you come to the like button and you slow down and you're like, roar, and you smash it, and then it speeds up again and you're off, that's cool. That's a hint. That's a hint, guys. The like button. Just continuing to defy destruction in Mothership right now. Indeed, defying destruction is good. Gasland sounds great. Good. You coming, Wayne, right? I need some folks. I know Mr. Saul's Weddle of Salt, is going to be there running some BattleTech, so maybe we can collaborate on some terrain or something. Best game acronym is PPNNFDS. You'll have to look it up because chat will block the title, I am sure. Dorcas always pushing the boundaries. I should run something at GHC, probably off books, yeah. Well, we will, right? Jim, you have not run off books at Gamehole. Am I right? Did you do it last year? Did we bust your chops into oblivion? I don't think we did. You gotta step up. if you dare. The reason I say that is we've gotten together as a group at Gamehole Con after 6 or after dinner, and then run off grid for the group. Like Harrigan's in the chat. He's done Into the Odd. Gabe Dibbing is in the chat. He had run Swords and Wizardry in a scenario he was kind of play testing. And so when that happens, let's just say you're the comedian on the stage, knowing you're going into a very, very small club with a group of hecklers. I will just say that. That's the only way I can frame it up. Nick, good to see you, man. Dude, get to Gamehole Con. You schlub, get there. Nick's not too far. Ran Mothership recently, was fun, but not convinced it's needed / better than COC. Ooh, shots fired. Sean, are you coming to Forge Midwest this year? I'm going to try. Sometimes I got to admit, sometimes, Tim, I just totally space it. So I got to put it on my calendar. And then the problem is I'm only there for like a few hours, so it's hard to sit down and play multiple games. Jim didn't run anything last year. There were already a lot of games happening. Yeah. So I think it sounds like it's Jim's turn in the old hot seat, if you will. I don't know if Jim will be able to. I don't know if Jim is the person that will tolerate our shenanigans. Like, he may just sit there and wait for us. Like, whenever you guys are ready. That's what I would do. Pistol packing bond age nuns from Dimension Sacks. PPBANFDS. No. Just no. DXC, thinking about it, running Alex Kammer's Marches game, but on the fence. 5e, not a fan. Well, I gotta get a little DCC turnout, I would hope. If you are so inclined. Grumpy Corn Games to spouse. She plays a lot of RPGs with me and on her own. That's awesome. Good to know. William, morning. Good to see you. Mr. Hobbs, thanks for support. Oh, yeah, you got a gifted sub, man. So thanks for supporting the show, dude. Jim will dominate. He will. Jim has no bad ideas. I know he'll dominate, of course. Jim is the GM we need at Gamehole Con, because he will be so tolerable. Or he will have a high tolerance threshold. Might take vacation time at 10 Gamehole this year. All right, Tim. Good to know, man. Looking forward to seeing you. All right, let's get into the topic. All right, before we get too long down the road. Right. boxed. It's not box text. Although it's sometimes we refer to it as box text, don't we? Like, do we leave off the ed? It is boxed text. That is the accurate. I have been corrected and is accurate, but sometimes don't we just say box text? Is it like an RPG, a bastardization of what the literal sense is? I mean, really? I'm just saying. Wow, look at this. All right, awesome, man. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning, gifted 1 RPG membership. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Who is the lucky winner? Is it going to come up? My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. Oh, Edmund Thunder has been gifted. So my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning has been gifted a subscription. Thanks so much by Edmund Thunder. Thanks, Edmund. I appreciate it. Excellent. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So let's get into this boxed text. Okay. First of all, for the game masters that are out there, because this is really about the game master, right? Or if you're a player, you probably know when the game master is reading boxed text, right? So the question I have to start out this whole shenanigan isn't about like whether you pronounce it the right way or the wrong way or what term you use, but do you read box text? Do you read it as... So first of all, there's a couple things that before we get into this, boxed text is usually from a published adventure or scenario, right? And the reason I brought this up, because I remember growing up and I'm thinking, dude, all you got to do is buy a module, read it, kind of review it, understand it a little bit. But, you don't have to memorize it, because when the characters get into a room, all you have to read, or all you have to do is read the text in the box. That's what they should know. And I think as a young dungeon master, I'm like, okay. And then after that is all the other stuff that the DM knows. So it's very much, okay, you guys are going to go in the room. Boom, read it. And then after that, monsters, right? Traps, blah, whatever's in the room, treasure. Great. But what I was finding growing up is some of those old AD&D, this is AD&D stuff, AD&D adventure scenarios would be like either didn't have it, and I always was perplexed at why some had it and why some didn't. And then when it didn't have it, you had to read parts of the paragraph, and you had to take out like the third sentence to read to the character. So you're kind of like reading it in your brain. And then when you feel you're inclined that it's known to the players, then you read it out loud. Like you switch your brain from like reading to yourself and then turn on your mouth. And I always found it like, can we just separate this out a little bit more definitive? And then even when you had modules that had boxed text, I still found rooms that didn't. So it was never always consistent. And it's like, who's designing this thing, right? And I know that boxed text can spur discussion. So I thought it was a good topic. So like, those are some of the things that I was going through. Like, boxed text, this would be a great topic. Like, why? I remember being so utterly frustrated with this stuff. And there's really crappy boxed text, and there's good boxed text. So, anyways, Blake's RPG Zone, 2 paragraphs equal fine. Get someone with good voice to read it out. More than that, summarize that stuff. Okay, all right, I like it. I think the original Tomb of Horrors was the last time I read boxed text running a game. Okay, yeah. Test Trekkie, you are out of control. Gifted 5 RPG memberships. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. If you've been, look at all this. Bogdan, good. Congratulations on getting that. Labyrinth Majestic, Money. Holy cow. Dungeon Monster. Some of these might be lurking, and they just got called out by getting the gifted sub or a gifted membership. So that's awesome. Glib comment. Nice. Very much. Thank you very much. Congratulations, everybody. Patrick, this is your weekly donation. Thank you. Thank you. Says Patrick. Box text is for TSR Dungeons and D&D is and is as dated as bell bottoms or the vinyl 45-inch record. It is so specific to dungeoneering as a method of play, it's useless everywhere else, which I humbly disagree. So there you go. So it's useless to you, maybe. I think it's fantastic for those that could use it. Like, I don't even think it's to one specific game. Like, I don't think it has to be D&D or ADD or BX or, BECME. I don't think it has to reside with any of that. Appreciate the insight, but I don't know. I don't agree with you, Patrick. Agree to disagree. Morning, Tess, Trekkie, good to see ya. Oh my God, did I go all the way back? I did. Let's get up to speed here. Where did I must have skipped around a little bit. Okay. In the words of popular podcaster, it depends. Indeed. I skim it and highlight it. And that can be an issue when you have paragraphs of text and miss some clue hidden in there. I agree. I knew Laramie was like, I'm stoked on this discussion. So thanks for adding that in there, buddy. Yeah. Or even if it's not boxed text, right? So, okay, we're going to read the module and then there's that one spiel in there and then like what happens? Jim says, I've been reading the boxed text from Before the Lost City. That's the one he's running for BS Landia members, which is fairly decent. I don't remember the last time I read any before that. That's fantastic. Jason96, thanks for supporting the show. Good morning. Box text could be useful tool, but ... Where are the editors? He continues. Brevity is key. Also, because I see Wayne kind of triggered in my brain, brevity is key for boxed text. Much prefer bullet points and pithy phrases with good sensory details. I agree. And Wayne's like triggered this because Wayne he's Kismet Games. He makes role-playing games and supplements for Kismet Games. Go check him out on DriveThru. KISMET. Him and D. But I wanted to bring this up because of folks like Wayne, some of you guys in the chat are doing RPG products, right? Gabe's put out stuff. Do you put boxed text in your product? And top it off, same people, I'm targeting you, the publisher, producer, creator. If you run a game, are you a fan? Because you could be like, I don't do it. I don't use it. I don't find it helpful for when I run a game. But then you design a scenario and you're like, I'm going to put it in there because of other folks to help them. Although you would probably not see the value in that, depending. I don't know. Thoughts? Yes, not a fan. Bullets better. Short narratives to introduce sections. Man, some of those AD&D ones, though, were terrible. They didn't even do bullets. They just put it all in one paragraph, and you had to, like, pull it. It was for sure, read this, take it in, and then convey it, like, on your own, which I can understand. But some of those were like, yes, it's here, but not in here. And I'm like, why are there these 5 things over here with box text? And then when they get in the dungeon, each room is keyed, and there isn't any. I really wish I would pull out some AD&D modules and pull out those examples because I know they existed. I know it. He's talking to Blake. All right. Jim says agreed about brevity, but I prefer sentences to be super distilled bullet points. I agree. Can we agree that the bullet point approach is maybe the better happy medium? Like for those that hate it, they don't need to use it. They could still absorb it. They don't need to read it. For those that may be newer and could use a little guiding along, it's helpful. I almost want to say, depending on the level of game master you feel you are, this is how the module's written. And it has the different areas. Like, hey, you a speedrunner or whatever, here's no box text, just, whatever. You need a little more guidance and more comfort in Like I didn't prepare, but I know I could just read this. I don't know. A lot of text though. Look out, both 45s and bell bottoms are back, and so is box text, baby. Yeah, baby. Morning all. RBG Gen Exile, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Everybody, I think we're at maximum capacity. I think the room is filled. Got a great turnout. If you would all be so kind to hit the like button. I'm trying to break the 40. I think the 40 likes from one stream within the end of the stream to have 40. That's the threshold. I think we've hit 39. I've known I've gotten 40 after the stream has concluded, but Orcus Dorcas, if it's short paragraph to cinematically set a scene, sure. If it's 3-column AD&D style short story over 2 pages, no. Take a highlight and boil it down. Yeah, agreed. So what is good box text? Like, tell me what good box text is. I'm here, just late, catching up. Harrigan, no worries. He got to the Miss Chester comment. It was good. I will say this. Orcus was talking about, because I don't think he had met you, Harrigan, prior to BSRCon. And I think he was in a game with you. Spoke in a positive light, sir. I will just say that. I'm with Wayne and Nick. J. Bullets and good sensory details. What is an example of bad box text? Like, don't do this. I ran in person in Slovene most of the time, so reading it out loud wasn't really an option. I dislike it in general. It's jarring. I read up bullet points and improvised descriptions. Way more natural. Fair, fair, fair. Scenario opens up with a befuddled look on many faces as they suddenly realize that the number of likes has not kept pace with the number of people claim to be watching. I'm okay with some text. Do you see the irony in this stream? Especially today. Like, it's very meta, right? Dude, that's my whole stream is reading boxed text. Or maybe just describe the room or the location, having read the adventure first. Well, that's one way to do it for sure. That's for sure. Oh, Patrick, you got to have some empathy for the folks that don't run games as well as you do, buddy. Ryan West, I think some of the boxed text in Delta Green almost has to be read. Example, that opening room with the makeshift mural from Impossible Landscapes. For sure. I will say this. I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan, with Delta Green, because I find Delta Green, when they write the scenarios, I don't think they need box text because of how they do it. Like I've had examples where it's an adventure, they go, and I can literally just start reading the paragraphs. I have to think that's pretty intentional, and they don't hide a lot of stuff, right? I can't remember how they separate the don't read this to players versus read. The only caveat is like knowing when they get to a location what they're going to first see and encounter, because sometimes that isn't always sequential. Like it's like reading a novel and then conveying the pieces to the player characters, and a novel is written differently. And how it's absorbed, because then you're painting the picture, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah. So sometimes I think a novel doesn't have to be chronological as it presents, where I find scenarios are more so because it's like I'm entering a room. Well, if they first enter the room, what is the first thing that they're going to see or sense? With a novel, it can be like very verbose, I think. I don't know. It's just me. I don't know how to read, but so anyway. Mike, I generally read the adventure and make notes on the interesting stuff, then run the adventure, improving through the non-important details and using my notes for the important details. All right. As long as the stuff that's immediately apparent to the characters is clearly demarcated, from the stuff they'd need to dig for, I don't especially care how it's formatted. He's talking about the module he's running. Yeah. It's just like dude, I give this a lot of thought when I'm running a scenario, or like even my notes, right? My notes. are what happens when they open the door? What happens when they arrive? Who do they see? What do they hear? What do they smell? And then it's like, do you go in the room? Then it's like they go in the room. Now it's different. Like, what has changed? I mean, you almost have to be careful of what they see when they open the door versus when they go in the room. So it's like, I don't know. Box text might help with some of that. I've also found box text old school stuff can be like, it's too much. Like, it divulges too much, where, case in point, the adventuring party opens the door. Do you read the box text, or do you wait for them to go into the room? Because what happens is you'll be like, you'll read it and it won't make sense because they're not in the room. So would they see what's in the box text? Tells them they see as they're standing at a threshold of a dark, like, there's no light in the room. Here's the box text. I mean, then you have to assume they have a light source. I don't know, whatever. Talking out loud here. That's what I do. Box text and Edge of the Empire beginner box works pretty well. I would hope beginner boxes, starter sets would capitalize on that stuff. I put box text in the longer adventures I've written, but not for the 2-page adventures. Not enough space. I'd agree. So it depends, format-wise. I don't have time to read this adventure first or do any preparation. I'm a 40-plus-year-old, but I want to run it like I'm a 12-year-old. I'm not sure if that's tongue-in-cheek or serious. Text is so weird. There's no tone. What if I create my own boxed text monologue and now the villain reveals their master plan? Well, Ryan, don't do that. Yeah, totally. The time thing. Mike M. Shadowdark seems to do adventures well to my eyes. Yeah, there's a balance. Like, there's a way to do it that's constructive. And you know, the thing is, if a scenario has boxed text that you don't use it, hey, guess what? Buttercup, it's okay. It's okay. Don't let it ruin your gaming experience. Holy cow. Like, there's bigger fish to fry in this world. Let me just tell you. All right? Holy cow. Don't get worked up on whether the box text is good or bad, or it's an abomination or not. Better than box text, the scene and location is procedurally generated by the interests and actions of the player characters, and scroll. If the scene description is important, a picture is worth 1,000 boxes. Yes. I did not do box text in my published adventures, Hobbs says. Okay. I don't, and they're getting some of the creators are getting back to me. Gabe says, I don't box text anything. I tend to go on with full detailed descriptions for a bit, followed by bullets prioritizing information. I have to, yeah. E. Armstrong, good box text gives you enough information to run with, but not so much that you can't add or remove elements you don't want. Indeed. Good box text is describing something for the GM without needing box text, so the game master can describe it in his own words. Okay, all right. I think the layout of many modules is lousy. I prefer a really good summary of the module first and bullets. Yeah. I'd agree. Short, succinct, quick statements. Like, there's, one of the things that I'd always thought of is, like, is there a standard, right? There's some publishers, right? You got Paizo, big publisher. You got Cobalt Press, Pelgrin Press, Goodman Games. You got all these folks. And I don't know, is there an example of a product line or a publisher that does a really good job of even, maybe it's not even box text, right? But conveying because, like, when we boil it down, it's kind of like the information to provide to the players in a published adventure. And even a homebrew, right? Like, if you're doing bullets or little note cards, it's all like a way to keep things organized and the ideas and what what to like information to convey to the players and be account for as a game master. And I was thinking to myself, is there a product line specifically? And I always go and divert to like newer game masters because, there's a deficit there. We are in high demand. If game mastering, you could professionally game master, but if it were a corporate gig, we'd be getting paid some bucks. Am I right? Right. There's a huge demand, low supply, driving up the salaries for us. But is there a good, like some of the starter sets are good, but it's not, I don't want something that's just the starter set that's good. Like here is if you want to start out as a game master, this module line is awesome because it allows you to it's organized well and not, I love Paizo. They put out some really great product. I was a big Adventure Path subscriber back in the day. 96-page modules showing up in my mailbox every month, subscription-wise. Really great. But man, some of the details in some of those scenarios are like the players are never going to need to know the history leading up to the first module of Rise of the Rune Lords. It's like the beginning of Lord of the Rings, the movies, but the rest of them, it's kind of swept under the carpet and none of the players know what that is from ages past. I don't know. Good box text is short, covers the important points, is evocative and contra bullet points, is written to flow well when read out loud. Gabe says, I use box text to provide additional information or context, GM tips, item stats, and provenance, which is also a good point that Gabe mentions. Like there is boxed text in products that are like tips, right? They're highlighted, with the little light bulb in the corner. So that is boxed text, right? So kudos for providing a different perspective, Gabe. Good box text. Yeah, boxed text, if well written, can really help, especially in old school games. Can set the tone, can establish what the players can interact with, can support starting GM, solo play, play-by-post play. Yes. Right? Because Harrigan's playing play-by-post. Runs tons of play-by-post. You can find that video here on this channel with Harrigan. He is pro-level play-by-post player and game master. He's like running or playing like 5 play-by-posts at any given time. And I imagine you just, box text, well, copy, paste, boom, there. Read this. Box text, short, clear. A different box style for DM watchouts. Yeah. Delta Green writing is really good. Indeed. Box text should highlight what's important to the GM, not the players. Know what should be focused on. What is the rule 1 of bad? Don't do this in box text. I have it in my brain, but I'm trying to see if you guys know what it is. I'm testing you. Molding furniture, holes rotted in ceiling, rat scurry, shredded rotting books on floor. Perfect. If you know that reference, let me know. Bonus points. Perfect. What I do appreciate in some narrative dialogue for NPCs. Short blurbs, but provide some perspective on their personalities or some suggestive replies based on potential situations or questions. Ted, good morning. So Wayne, adventures. Try to mimic the style of the system. While I lean minimalist, some OSE advanced go too far and you lose the purpose of an encounter. Make the context apparent. Yeah. Good stuff. Grimwood Games. This is interesting. As a new developer of modules and systems, I did not know boxed text was so controversial. Oh, yeah. The Sly Flourish and one of the other YouTubers, I can't remember who it was, had gotten it. What is his name from MCDM? James Intricasso. I think they were going back and forth one time on like Twitter back in the day about boxed text. And it was like this big ordeal. Like, no, it sucks. Oh, no, it's beneficial. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, no, this is good. Sean, your notes, in my opinion, if a module is well written, you shouldn't need notes. In my opinion, that's the point of a module. You would think so. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about, I would disagree. And it depends on the game. So, Laramie, I think we can agree that it depends on the game, that you are accurate. Because I'll tell you why. Some modules or scenarios are very linear. Like that you read this and then the only option for the players, and it's not a railroad, kind of, maybe, sort of, maybe. But they're also, like I've told this before. We've got it into this before, a little bit. Everything is published in role-playing games as a book. A book is a page-by-page document. It's inherently, by form factor, very much a linear. It's linear in its, how do I say it? In programming, I would call it procedural, right? Maybe that's a good analogy? I don't know. But the fact is you go page by page. You can't read one page, skip 10 pages, and have it make sense, right? It's the written word. I will say, and this, I'm going to get to my point in a second here, touching on Laramie, is because if you're running a scenario, maybe there's, they come to a path, they have this option or this option. And depending on which one, will tell you whether you have to continue where you left off or you have to flip pages to the next thing where they go. And that's fine. The thing about the notes piece is that when I run Delta Green specifically, the player characters can go in any freaking direction. They really can, and they do. So while what happens is the mission is provided and they are given clues or insight, and sometimes that is very much we have to go here first because, that's ground zero. So we have to go there regardless. All the other stuff doesn't really matter at this point. That's very rare because it's many times like this is happening. There's another person. So where it happened isn't where the person exists. So they could go to that person or that place. And sometimes that branches off to 3 or 4 different avenues and the party can split up. So what happens is I'm flipping through books where if I do notes, I can do notes not based on a linear fashion like a book or how the module is portrayed. I can actually put it in an application where it's like it's a mind map, right? Or a graphic, so that if I just click an object in that graph, I'm going to come up with the information where I don't have to page or so. Yeah, notes. All this room talk is dungeon talk. That's like 10% of a hobby. Delta Green's not the dungeon talk. Looking at Impossible Landscapes now looks like bullet points and then sections labeled for the handler, secrets, or NPCs of this location. Yeah. I do agree that when box text is used to set the mood, it can be the slightly softer hand needed to help introduce an NPC. The world-weary look at the tavern keeper lets you know immediately, no droids. They don't serve them here, says Shambot. No kidding. Nick says, I think writers forget players can consume only so much info, so being really concise and consistent in describing a situation is key. Yeah, some of those, it's like verbose. Size of room, lighting, features. Like, I think all we need as game masters, if some of us are very obviously creative and can do things on the fly, right? That kind of makes us a game master, kind of. But I think what happens is we can read a few bullets and get the picture in our brain very quickly. And once we have that, we're gold. I also think that if it gets too verbose, it freaking messes with that picture so much that you get confused as a game master, and then that comes out in play. Laramie agrees. True, Sean, except that the box text contains the key info on how to overcome a challenge, etc. Yeah, don't put that in there, right? Agree that box text is an important tool for new GMs, and that it's really skipped by GMs who don't need it or care for it. GDCC makes a great use of box text, as do tons of very well-written OSR modules, some of which are among the best adventures that have ever been written. Booyah! Mic drop that guy. I also love bullets and what Chris McDowell does, and bad/super long box text. Nah. Yeah. All a hex is for wilderness travel is a room with 6 doors. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree, Tobbs, for sure. I like the analogy. Although I will say that a hex may be bigger. And you could run into more things in the room. So it's maybe a more detailed room. A room with openings. Maybe. I don't know. I like it though. It's good. Gabe's definition of how he uses box text is the first method I've seen discussed in here that I think is really useful to me as a game master. Yeah, well, every once in a while we get a golden nugget that hits home with somebody. Aspirationally, the writing for anything read out loud should be more like Hemingway than Joyce. It's more ideal for players to activate their imagination versus trying to understand by verbose details. Yeah, man, let the brain fill in those things, right? And if they have a question and it doesn't seem clear, because let's face it, some players can vision things better than others. They just do. So we get the case in point, if I say something and one player's like, I'm sorry, I'm confused, but the other isn't, right? There's a thing there that's going on between the two different individuals. But I agree, Nick. Let the brain work. Like it's this could also get into miniatures or theater of the mind, but let's not start that whole ordeal. I think an example associated with too much box text exposition per se are some COC handouts. You are either slogged through reading it aloud, or it's a 20-minute stall while they read it themselves. Yeah, too much. I don't know, man. I find, at least the ones I do have, the Mothership does this well. Oh, good to know. Okay, there's a vote for Mothership. Running Lord of the Rings. The box text is Tolkien-esque, and I'd rather read it than reduce it to my orc-ish language. It is perhaps better described what Sean means as read loud text, or read loud text. Soliloquies. Look at that. I could say that. Worst thing in boxed text. Well, here's the thing, okay, because I've hinted at like what's the worst thing. It's telling the players how they feel, right? The box text that is like, okay, you enter the room and your character feels immediately, uneased. Ooh. How many of those have you run into? Right? It's supposed to be very like descriptive and what they see, smell, or hear, right? The minute you start saying like, you are immediately afraid for your life. Or it's, all right, everybody, give me a fear check. Roll versus sanity. Okay, now because of the result of that, and role play. As long as you got good players that are like, oh, I'm scared, I run in. Good role playing, yeah, right? I have to win, so I can't run away because I'm supposed to be scared, but I'm really not. To your point, it's the Tim. When a box text tells the players how they feel, bam, Shambot. Nailed it before I said that. When they enter a situation, bad. Telling a player or character how they feel, bad. Sandy Peterson has often shared the horror of the use the senses to focus. They use the senses to focus on descriptions, physicality, smell, sound. Indeed, I agree with Shan. Don't tell players how their characters feel. I do it all the time. Someday I'm gonna run a game that just is. I'm gonna do every faux pas. Just do it. I'm just gonna run it, and I make notes of all the faux pas and like run a game at BSRCon or something, and see if anybody can pick up on it. Oh, I'm in that game that Sean talked about on his live stream in April of 2025. Fantastic. Yay. Maybe I'll do it at GameholeCon at an actual table and record it and see what happens. It'll be good YouTube material. It's fair. It depends on the game, and I'm also presuming one shot versus campaign. Campaigns, in my opinion, require notes. It's baked in. I would also say I don't have the description of the room in media res or media res. I think Kevin thanks Hobbs. S3X. S3 times Edmund. The Thunder from Down Under. Maybe he's not from, he could be from Down Under, not Australia though. I think Kevin, the text box is great. A kind of navy that Lynx had. Hey, listen, I just don't do it too much, and I think most people won't mind. Yeah, you're good. It's all good. Has anyone written a module like a choose your own adventure book? Sean, not true. Some RPGs are published as a deck of cards or as board games or as LARPs. Books haven't been the only form. Fair. Let me add this. A majority of RPGs, trad, are published in books. Case in point, drive-through RPG. But I do hear you, Tim. It's not all RPGs. You're right. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. If you're the DM, you get 2 sentences, period. Beyond that, your players are stacking dice, talking to each other, or staring off into space. Time after time, players were missing the actual data. You know, that's also a good point. If it gets too verbose, it gets too long, they're checked out. It's going to see the uninteresting TED Talk. Magical fierce and save or suck mechanics are a whole other thing, Laramie. Okay. I almost never run a module without my own notes. Some mothership pamphlets, maybe, but then I've prepared handouts and music, etc. Always something to do. Yeah. Laramie says, trumpet, nailed it. Sean, you and I do both agree on notes, so there's some common ground. Well, I hope so. We're here on role-playing games. There's some common ground. We play role-playing games. We love them. That's good. I knew we could find some middle ground. Flint says, wouldn't all box be contextual? Box text for dungeon rooms is better than the box text for a huge battle between armies or what characters see in the distance. So what makes one box text, etc.? Well, that's true, but I think you could also use box text for, oh, you're on the cusp of the hill. As you gaze out into the distance, this is what you see. Right? 3 things. Off to the left is a camp. It looks to be approximately so many tents. Forward of you are, directly in front. In the center is, you count almost 10 catapults. That's pre-action, right? Once you're in combat, there's no box text. Or is there? All right, I got to catch up. Brett, this guy. Who's this guy? Just celebrating a birthday. Brett B. This guy. He just turned 30. Everybody, wish him a late happy birthday. It was yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right? Yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yesterday or Thursday. The 4th, right? I know Brett's birthday. I just got here, but I could tell you I'm 90% against whatever Sean is talking about. There you go. So anybody that is anti-me and has not left, you have an advocate in the chat. you have your spokesperson. If you don't, so anyways, I didn't introduce myself at the beginning of the stream. So I'm Sean. I like tabletop role-playing games. Brett, that guy, who's never here, by the way. He's probably like, I don't know, at a doctor's office and is completely bored out of his gourd. So he decided to join this stream. He used to do a podcast called Gaming and BS. Team Brett. Here we go. Oh, God. Not the Mirko effect. Mirko Digital Hobbit. If you read the text with feeling, you're going to keep player attention, a la Ben Stein. Bueller. That's another thing I got to write down. Not only is it shitty box text that I have to read, so I have to read the box text that is like, there is nothing to it. In my next GMing experiment, I have to have boxed text that has nothing, very brief stuff in it. And then I have to have one that is a page long as I convey it. And then I have to have it overly like emotional. And then I have to have it completely mundane. I tell players how their characters feel. I can explain myself if necessary in Discord. All right. See you, Jim. Which reminds me, I think I'm enjoying the box text in our BX game because I start running it immediately after story time. There you go. Thanks, Jim. Good to see you, man. I'm still in that mode. Yeah. I had to write an adventure that works for every type of gamer at every level of skill. So you're going to run into some that work for you and some that don't. Indeed. I love Trumpet's insight about flagging player attention spans and would apply it further to campaigns that go on too long. Oh, so it's not even like, hey, I'm talking and conveying information and then the player checks out. But Gabe is talking about actually the whole entire campaign. Ah, okay. It's just not the session or your monologue, Game Master. Trumpet wants to give credit where credit is due. I was quoting research by Jesse Decker and David Noonan. There you go. There's fourth. 30. There you go. Got D&D game later today, so I'm at my desk listening to my buddy Sean and making sure I've got my stuff set for the session. Box text! I think Brett should start his own YouTube show at the same time and have a stream battle. Well, that wouldn't be bad, would it? Or, hey, what do you think about that, Crawford?
Right.
He's writing his own boxed text. So much boxed text to read. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for the discussion. It was good. I appreciated it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to continue to, I don't know, do bullets. I'm going to do bullets. I've been convinced bullets is the way. Bullets. Let's get into, if you are taking off, hit the like button before you take off. Thank you so much, very much. Let's get into RPG news quick. RPG news. News. What's going on quick in the hobby? We're going to whip through this stuff. Had a long discussion, but nonetheless, very good. Going to the aquarium. Oh, going to the shed aquarium, are you? We'll have a good time. Arby's Dungeons & Dragons dice keep selling out over and over. Who would have thought? ChessX got a competitor in Arby's. Metal. They're metal this time. $40. They used to be 12. The original set, if you get in on those. This original set were the clear ones. And then I think they're brought out by Norse Foundry, if I'm not mistaken. Norse Foundry does them. April 3rd drop is Norse Foundry's first run of its new Arby's dice is already sold out. Norse Foundry also notes that the shipping for those who did manage to snag a set will be slightly delayed due to high demands. So they're metal. Arby's. There's a nerd at Arby's. I'm just saying, right? There's a nerd somewhere there at Arby's. Did anybody get a set? Anybody get a set? Let me know if you got a set in the chat, yo. All right. The AIM Manufacturers Association, Gamma, people on the move, Gamma Marketing and Communications Manager is out declaring Gamma deeply siloed and in many ways broken. Gamma responds. So the communication manager, Amy Lowe, posted on April 1st, 2025 via LinkedIn. Not a good day to post things, but whatever. And it's been since removed, but she said it was deeply siloed and in many ways broken. Her resignation comes just over 6 months since she joined the organization in October 2024. Prior to being hired by Gamma, she worked at 20 years in the tech, real estate, and other sectors she had in her post. Lowe made a number of allegations about Gamma and lengthy description of her reasons for leaving. Whoa. Usually that's probably something you don't want to do, but, whatever. There you go. Toxic leadership, rampant gatekeeping, insecurity masquerading as control, disrespect toward other staff and members. Woo. Gamma responds. It's important I read the response for Gamma, right? Over the past 8 months, this is from Executive Director John Stacy. Over the past 8 months, Gamma has nearly doubled its staff to accommodate for our growing association. So just so you know, we're assholes because we doubled and we don't know how to handle it. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Gamma. We now represent almost 1,700 tabletop game companies in 36 countries. As part of this growth, we've taken a hard look at how our staff was organized and made adjustments to better align with our 10-year strategic plan for Gamma to be the epicenter of the tabletop industry. While I disagree with her categorization of our staff, we appreciate the brief time she was with us and wish her well in her future adventures. I would not have phrased it up like that, but hey, whatever. Tomato, tomato. it's like, okay, all right, well, and who knows? Who knows? Tabletop publishers believe RPG books are exempt from Trump's tariffs for now. Okay, so tariffs. Anybody sick of hearing about tariffs? Me too. But, how is it going to affect our hobby? Are they going to get slammed with 60% increases for the cost of RPG books? Or are they not? Why can't they print in the U.S.? Well, that's because they don't have any offset printers that can do it at an affordable rate for us. There's just no industry here that could do that. We have to go to China because that's where it's at, or overseas into Europe somewhere. Yada, 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 yada. So now there's a debate on what qualifies as a game, and because it's a game, it's different than if it's a book. And then if you have a box set and you have dice, is that a game or that's not a book, right? So can you classify an RPG book as outside of a game, but a book? And books aren't tariffed the same way or classified the same way, and the tariffs are different. So yeah, there you go. This is going to get fun. I'm not going to get into any more detail on that. You can do some research on your own. There's only one big way to there's one way to know and find out. Sure. Here's another one, more information on tariffs and how it may affect us. So from Gamma and what they're considering, because I think they are actually looking at action as they should, right? That's kind of the purpose of Gamma. Hey, Gamma, we pay you membership dues so you can go to bat for us on the Hill, right? Go be a lobbyist. So, yeah, there you go. Next, moving. Chris Perkins of D&D fame has announced his retirement after 28 years with Wizards of the Coast. With an update on Blue Sky, with D&D's 50th anniversary wrapping up and the revised rulebooks doing gangbusters, this is the perfect fairy tale ending for me. I can't wait to enjoy D&D purely as a fan again, knowing the game is in good hands. See you in the Feywild. So, congratulations to Chris Perkins, retired from WotC, being 28 years. I'm guessing he's not much older or younger than me. So for those not in the know, there's a thing called Magic 85. And what that means is if you have enough years at a company plus your age, and that equals 85 or more, you sometimes can retire and from the company. Now, I don't expect Chris to like, I don't know, maybe he's a wise investor and he doesn't have to work again. But I'm interested to see what comes from him in the future. I don't know anybody in the D&D space there other than Jeremy Crawford at this point, like a person I've met. So Chris has been there, obviously, quite a long time. And wish him the best of luck and appreciate all his contributions to the RPG hobby over the years. So I'll just say that. Moving on. Probably should put this in order. This is Steve Jackson Games. So Uncle Steve, affectionately known by Brett and I as Uncle Steve, an important message from our CEO, Meredith Placco, on tariffs. Read all about it. Tariffs. Black. All right. Let's get into bundles, right? Bundles. Woot, bundles. Battletech RPG Collection. Battletech Universe, Battletech Manual, Battletech Time of War, Battletech Destiny, Battletech Legends, Battletech Alpha Strategy, Battletech Total Warfare. You get the freaking deal here. Picking up what I'm putting down. It's all about Battletech. For $26, you can get like 20 items. If you're a Battletech fan, seems like a no-brainer. There you go. Check it out. Next one. Anybody play Iron Kingdoms? Iron Kingdoms Collection. Book bundle. 65 items in this bundle. For like 35 is the threshold, or 35-ish. And also these, proceeds of these bundles to go to charity. This one happens to be Child's Play. The previous one, Battletech, is for No Kid Hungry. Okay. So you get a lot of PDFs. They get a little money for the product, covering the cost maybe, and then, or maybe not, and then proceeds go to charity. Win. Did I put the Iron Forged in there? I did not. Battletech. I just want to march around on a stage like Balmer. Hang on. They got more coming. Just hang in there if you can. If you can't, have a nice day. We'll catch you on the flippity flip. Shield Maidens. Shield Maiden Collection. High-tech Neo-Viking tabletop role-playing. Core books, bestiary, and scenarios from Mongoose. So here you go. If you don't have it and we had your eye on it, maybe want to check it out for, what is the cost of this thing? $20. You get $117 worth of DRM free ebooks. Come on, folks. Like, how many PDFs? We need more. Feng Shui ammo pack. I don't think I have all of these. I may have to take a look. They like these 3 titles, four titles. I have the first one. I don't think I have all of them. I got to run this game more. Feng Shui 2 and a little Feng Shui 1 maybe. I did not. Yeah. Check this out. So there you go. If you wanted to look into Feng Shui. And then, of course, there's the core bundle that has the core rulebook, some scenarios, Hong Kong Task Force 88, Burning Shaolin Redux, Glimpse of the Abyss, bonus collection, Secrets of the Qi War, 5 Feng Shui 1E faction books, a fistful of 8 scenes, Blowing Up the Movies. I think I have most of these, if I'm not mistaken. But I might have to flip over to see the other one. So there you go. And the last one, Stillfleet bundle. Core book, Kedida, Subtle Fluid, and Many Ventures. The all-new Stillfleet bundle, far future science fiction tabletop role-playing game from Stillfleet Studio about exploring ruined spacecraft, hulks, and habitable Earth-like planets cut off from contact with Terra for decades or centuries. Players are Void miners, explorers working for the worshipful company of still fleeters, known simply as the Co. Their base is the mysterious alien space station nicknamed Spindle, kilometers long sea slug made of undulating black stone. Whoa. Feng Shui needs some boxed text. Yeah. All right. That's what I got for bundles. Go bundle your heart out. Print news. Thanks to Ian World for putting this together. Exaltive. All right. Starting off. The Land of Eem standard box set. Core rulebook. I'm guessing this wrapped up from crowdfunding. $125 for the whole ball of wax. Otherwise, you can get it for $40, $30, $60, $30, depending on what item you want out of these offerings, if you will. Next one, Wilderfeast core book. Wilderfeast guide screen, area reference deck, monster reference deck, Wilderfest journal pack. Lots of stuff there. I'm like on two things here. Here's Veeam. Here's Wilderfeast. Going on. The Parthenogenesis of Hungry Hollow. I am on fire pronouncing words today, folks. It's an oddity. By Space Penguin Inc. Something strange is happening in the neighborhood. This is for Liminal Horror. Happened in Hungry Hollow, seemingly centered around the upcoming birth of its newest resident. PCs must head into town, meet its inhabitants, and unravel the horrid truth that lies buzzing just beneath the surface. Yikes. Next one, Urban Shadows Core Rulebook, 2nd edition. Along with the screen, campaign notepads, journal pack, dice tray, all by Magpie Games. And then the last one, Marble Maroon and Gray dice set for system tabletop RPGs. So you can use this with these dice with any RPG. Not if they're not 5e only. So there you go. There you go for print news. And so if you were waiting for one of those to come out in print, there you go. Next one. Crowdfunding. Usually on Ian World, they're featuring crowdfunding campaigns that are coming to their end. They have either ended or they're about a week and a half out. Today is April 5th. So mileage may vary after you see this after the stream. First one, Alien RPG. I have not gotten on. Kind of itching. I don't know. It ends in like 12 days from now. I don't know if I should get it or not. But it's funded. 17 million kroner. Look at that thing. Holy buckets. It's over 3,000% funded. That is surprising. The average pledge is $15.98 of the local Swedish. We should probably go there and see, convert it. 1.7 million for Free League. Surprisingly well, I would say. Only because Alien hasn't been out all that long. But apparently, the average backer, it's 8,700 backers. The average backer's kicking in some pretty big bucks. Let me see. There's 1,000. That's the core book. Okay, for sure. There's 1,000 of them. Going down here. 626 at that level. 2,000 for the company bundle. Getting all in, which is really surprising. 1,100 for the Xenomorph bundle, which is the dice, GM screen, book, and then there's an adventure they're coming out with. And then 1,500 for the engineer bundle. So a lot of folks kicking in for kind of the mother load on that crowdfunding campaign. So I maybe they didn't buy the first one. Sean, did you ever think of that? Dungeon Denizens Spy, how to write even better adventures and more GM tools from Goodman Games. It's out on Backer Kit. What is it? Where is this thing at? Where is this thing, Goodman Games? $271K to $25K. They just released Dungeon Denizens 1. I think it's out in print now that you can get it. Or at least it's out to backers. Next one, The Art of Easily. Jeff Easley's putting out a book. I did not know this was out there. $150 shipping and handling art book. I know that Elmore did one, if not two. So if you're a fan of Jeff's artwork, this is a no-brainer for your coffee table and your collection. It's $183K of $10K goal. So there you go. One of the core artists from the old TSR days. Next one, Frostpunk, the role-playing game from Catalyst Games. The Dice Core system. $110 average pledge, $84K at $20K. That's in on it. So it's in 1886, the world fell to ice and an endless winter, save for a city built around heat generators. In this game, you play as characters that have to keep the generators running to survive. It's based on the video game, a video game. Next one, Myths and Tales. System neutral. What? Good. The book is 200 pages of lore about yokai and cyberpunk, literally ghosts in the machine. This project combines Japanese spirits and cyberpunk tropes to create a collection drawn by Fury Wongsuk. That's funded. Next one, The God Wolf from the Crooked Mountains. Dragonbane. Dragonbane fans, hello. Hello. Dragonbane fans, here you go. Did you get in on this? It's funded. Third-party adventure. Land of bitter cold. Enjoy the festival. What is it cold now? Go to the village of the damned and prepared for a gigantic beast. 44-page adventure. There you go. Rook Room. What? If you're in the Iowa area, central Iowa. Are you in central Iowa? States this crowdfunding. The campaign offers a place for gamers to come together and share the hobby. $25K of a $15K goal. Give them a kick in the pants. Interesting. I don't know if that's a good move. Is it a good move, crowdfunding, to help open the game store? I mean, it's an option, obviously, and people have helped, right? And get that. It's near Des Moines, but I'm just wondering, like when you do a crowdfunding campaign, especially and this is on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is going to take a portion of that. I'm wondering if that is more beneficial to them than a small business loan. Maybe. I would hope that they've weighed that. I have to think they have, right? There you go. Bam. We're done. I didn't see all the chat. Everybody's in there talking amongst themselves, so I had to get through all these. I hope I didn't miss anything overly important. I see. I'm going through tariffs from my DR project. Okay, budget, Brett. Yeah. I work in imports. From what I have heard, anything that is not just a book will be hit with the extra tariffs. Thanks for the insight. Just call them books. No one in the current administration knows the difference. Well, that's for sure. No, yeah, he's got to be 57 if he hits the magic 85. Not old at all, for sure, Tim. Good for him. We're truly all the best to Perkins. Do Battletech RPGs basically say, okay, now go play a game of Battletech or mech combat? Inquiring minds want to know, right? Oh, Sean, I'm still catching up. Crowdfunding news. Hammerdog is dropping a funder for their half height screen. Oh, yeah, that's right. When's that? Is that going to come out next week? Because that's when it's going to come down, right? So am I going to hit this twice? It's okay. I was looking at their screens. I don't know if I'm going to get in on it. Because I have one, and I don't use it. It's the high one. But this is what Laramie's talking about. So if you're interested, the world's greatest screen, the half screen. We haven't talked about GM screens yet, but that can be a topic. Not leaving Sweet. The Jarrett Creators Company. I don't know. All right. Tim keeps trying to get me to buy Urban Shadows. Yeah. I wish Canada wasn't so Canadian. Getting anything shipped up here sucks. Yes, we know. I know we have friends there. Just cost me $250 imagine Canada dollars just for the Mothership Deluxe. Jeez, wow. Just for shipping, man. That is crazy. Asked and answered, Chambot. Thanks for bringing it up. Got to get an RPG mule to get you the goods across the border. Yeah. Got to. I was just gonna say, you got to take an RPG book and stick it up your. Anyways, whoa, heyo. Oh man, I bought the Alien Evolved Kickstarter, Mike. I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to do baggage on you. No, you guys, Tyler. I mean, I'm peddling this stuff every week. I guess it's apropos for people to push back on me. Tyler, get it, John, get it. I haven't, Brett. I don't know, maybe. I don't even run Alien that much. Like I've got stuff like Heart of Darkness. I haven't even run it. They might even still be in shrink. Hope that Goodman Games book helps me write better boxed text. Ayo. Let's feel targeted. Eileen, good to see you. Where are you? I saw you. Morning. Whoops. Rook room. All right. Don't end the stream. If you do, Orcus and I will have to do chores. Yeah, well. Start from the beginning, folks. Indeed. Thanks, Laramie. All right. If my wife ever finds out Sean actually doesn't do a 3-hour stream every Saturday, I'm a dead man. Well, not all heroes wear capes. If you can hit Weird Frontiers up there, I'm amazed. Yeah, if you could fit a Weird Frontiers up there, I'm amazed. To the mule comment, and the Weird Frontiers is large. Very large. Big. Anyways, thanks everybody for joining me. Very much appreciate it. I want to thank these fine individuals. I thank you for the gifted memberships in the chat today. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank to all these folks that are my patrons and decide to give me a few shekels each and every month. What can I say? Just as thankful to have you in the chat to keep me company. Saturdays, 8 a.m. Central Time here, talking about RPGs. Really appreciate it. You guys put fuel in my tank every week. This is where it starts. It's filled up. By Friday, I'm like running out of gas. And then it's like filled up again. So do yourself a favor. Go game. And if you're like burned out, or like, oh man, I'm burned out, man, take a break. Spend time with people you appreciate. Don't spend time with the people that you don't appreciate. And be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. A positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. We need positivity, folks. It's all good. And I need to be kept to that standard. So let me know if I fall out of line. Like, hey, Ben, hey, shout, come on, man. Oh, okay, all right, you're right. So hope to see you next week, Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And we'll check you out in the flippity flip. See ya.